Hello and welcome to LS&S Leadership Management Training. Today's topic is Corrective Action Overview. This video is intended to provide managers with an understanding of the coaching and corrective action process. Let's go ahead and get started. Employee engagement is going to be the key to your success. Before we move forward with the corrective action plan, it's important that we discuss the importance of communication. An engaged employee is going to be more responsive to the process of the corrective action. Coaching is crucial in the process of corrective action. It's important that as a coach you're observing, listening, and providing both constructive and positive feedback to employees. The coaching process may be informal and should be ongoing to help employees improve and to address issues that may arise to prevent any corrective action. It's important to practice continuous coaching with all of your employees. Sometimes managers and directors avoid conflict or coaching opportunities at the very beginning. Avoiding this can lead to being frustrated and wanting to immediately terminate an employee. Keep in mind that LS&S follows a progressive disciplinary process. Let's go over some of the reasons why coaching is so important. Studies have shown that productivity increases. It's important to give positive recognition and feedback. Employees are more apt to perform better, and your staff will be open to receiving constructive feedback versus immediate corrective action. Here are a couple of other reasons why coaching is important. It helps to maintain our direct interaction with employees. Open, honest, two-way communication helps to build and sustain high trust relationships. And here's the most important one. How else will an employee know whether he or she is doing a good job? Let's go over situations where coaching might be required. To train new hire employees, newly promoted and transferred employees, provide direction, set performance expectation, positively reinforce good performance, encourage teamwork and trust. Coaching opportunities are endless, both constructive and positive. Achieve performance consistency, enhance interpersonal skills, address issues before corrective action is necessary, change in work priorities, cross-functional training. You can reinforce any of these at any time. We have discussed the importance of employee engagement, communication, and feedback to your employees. If you believe corrective action is needed, we will now walk you through the necessary steps. You can check to see if you have all the information you need. Developing your own system will help you from feeling overwhelmed, staying organized, creating consistency, and your employees will understand your leadership and management. Document, document, document. Documentation is important. This will memorialize both positive and corrective conversations you had with your employee. It is best practice to document as you can refer to this information to write reviews, identify patterns, and to help you remember conversations. Be creative. Develop your own systems to log communication, remember incidences, and track conversations. However, here are a few tips. Email yourself a short note. Use your calendar, or simply develop a communication log for each and every employee. Why take corrective action? Addressing performance issues can positively affect the performance, engagement, and morale of the employee and other team members. The corrective action plan should be triggered when an employee falls below performance expectations and ongoing coaching efforts have been unsuccessful. To address policy violations, to address inappropriate behavior, and to prevent undesirable performance from worsening. Here are additional examples where corrective action may be needed. Failure to meet performance standards, harassing behavior towards or mistreatment of employees or customers, violation of security procedures, inappropriate use of companies' computer systems. Here are more examples when corrective action may be needed. Violation of safety procedures, insubordination, fighting or any type of violent activity, poor attendance. Types of situations where corrective action may be needed. negligence or willful damage of LS&S library property, inappropriate use of camera, cell phone, or other electronic devices, and any violation of LS&S policies. Keep in mind, many of these policies are in your handbooks. As a reminder, your employees should never feel or be blindsided during the process of the Corrective Action Plan. The Corrective Action Plan is your tool. Your data is the coaching, ongoing communication, and feedback that you give to your employee. A well-written corrective action plan is important. We will now go over some of the key elements to a well-written corrective action plan. The key to the corrective action plan is being organized. If you have been consistent with your coaching and your communication logs, you should be able to collect information and develop a list. Your notes should have multiple areas for improvement, or you might just find one consistent area that needs improvement. Collect all of your written documentation and use this as data. Organize this information and identify what areas for improvement are needed. Do your examples fall under any of the specific categories? Time and attendance, insubordination, behavior, customer service? Being clear and concise is the best way to approach a corrective action plan. Steer clear from subjective verbiage such as seems like, I feel, or putting a personal spin. We want to be concrete on dates, times, where conversations have happened with our employees. Avoid delivering a confusing message. You can avoid this by being direct. When describing an incident to an employee, describe it as, you were late on, your behavior has, this policy is not being followed. These are some helpful tips. Here are our notes broken down in an organized manner. In the first section, we identify the days and times we coach Mr. Bird. In the middle section, we can see that we have a time and attendance issue. In the body gives all of the examples of the dates and times where Mr. Bird has had an attendance issue. Now we're ready to transfer. Transfer your information to the corrective action form. Identify whether it is a verbal, written warning, final written warning, or a termination. Under actions to be taken, in Mr. Bird's example, he will need to be ready and prepared for work on time. At this point, email a copy of this draft to the Human Resources Department. A PIP can be implemented concurrently with the corrective action plan. A PIP accompanies the formal warnings. This way, we can address specific actions needed from the employee, specifically related to their job responsibilities. This form is completed by the employee and the manager. Please contact the HR department for assistance. Just a friendly reminder that not every corrective action plan is exactly the same. Information provided by the manager will be handled case by case. Facilitating the corrective action process. Remember, step 1 is to do your due diligence. This should be conducted to make a proper decision. Informing an employee, communication with the employee, employee engagement are all going to be the keys to your success. Coaching is key. Collect your information. Validate whether or not your employees engage in such behavior. Ask questions. Does the poor performance reflect a skill deficiency or a behavioral problem? Inquire. Find out if other employees are engaged in the same behavior. Ask for assistance. Once you've received the corrective action plan back from the Human Resources Department, it is now time to meet with your employee. It's important that this conversation take place in a private, discreet location. Set a specific time to meet to minimize any distractions. This conversation shouldn't feel difficult if you've been coaching and communicating with your employee along the way. Follow-up is key. Ask the employee when he or she would like to follow up regarding the corrective action. This will help avoid any confusion and reinforce the expectation for change. Allow the employee reasonable time for change. Don't forget to follow up. Avoid insufficient follow-up. You might miss an opportunity for communication and employee engagement. Corrective action plans are very similar to moving violations. As an employee shows improvement, the corrective action plan may not be taken into consideration over a certain period of time. Here's a breakdown: verbal 3 months, written 6 months, and final 1 year. Keep in mind this could vary depending on the situation and the employee's corrective action plan. Couple of reasons why the corrective action process is so important. Our role is to develop and train employees. We want to give our employees the opportunity to help develop and grow. It's costly to retrain and recruit for new talent. We want to avoid litigation. There are several laws that protect employees and regulating agencies. Did you know that there are a number of laws that hold managers responsible for conduct that violates employment laws? Your role is important. If in doubt, please contact the HR department. It's all of our responsibility to do the right thing. Let's tie all of the information we learned today together with these simple 5 steps. The first step to the corrective action process is continuous coaching. The second step is verbal warning. Third is written warning. Fourth is final written warning. And fifth is employee separation. If you have any questions regarding this video, please contact Maria Ariza at maria.ariza@lssi.com or Victor Hernandez at victor.hernandez@lssi.com.